Research Coordinator Vexathala adjusted her bioscanner for the 15th time, her 4 eyes blinking in sequence as she stared at the impossible readings. The Keltharian scientist's scaled hide had shifted to a nervous purple-gray, an involuntary response she couldn't suppress despite her years of professional training. "The equipment must be malfunctioning," she muttered to her assistant, a young Zephyrian whose translucent wings buzzed with anxiety. "I've run 3 full diagnostics, Coordinator," Piptel replied, his voice carrying the melodic undertones typical of his species. "All systems are functioning within normal parameters." On the examination table before them lay Sergeant Marcus Rodriguez, a human soldier captured during the recent border conflict near the Vega system. He was conscious, alert, and, most disturbingly, completely relaxed, despite having just endured what should have been an excruciating ordeal. The Galactic Medical Council's pain tolerance study was supposed to be routine. Every species in the known galaxy had been cataloged according to their neural pain thresholds, a crucial factor in determining appropriate interrogation techniques, medical procedures, and psychological warfare strategies. The testing protocol had been refined over centuries and was considered foolproof. They had started with Level 1, a mild electrical stimulus that caused discomfort in most species. Marcus had barely reacted, raising an eyebrow and asking, "Wait, that's it?" Level 2 involved targeted pressure points that induced moderate pain in even the notoriously stoic Drachmani warriors. Marcus had yawned. By Level 5, the intensity was sufficient to incapacitate most known life forms. The human had looked genuinely interested for the first time. "Oh, I felt that one," he'd said cheerfully. "Reminded me of my first tattoo." "Impossible," Vexthala had declared, recalibrating the equipment. Surely there was an error. Level 7 was designed to break the will of Nixari hive soldiers, beings bred specifically for pain resistance. Marcus had tilted his head thoughtfully. "Getting warmer. This is like that time I dislocated my shoulder during basic training." Now they were at Level 10, the maximum setting that had never failed to render any test subject unconscious from sheer neural overload. Marcus was not only conscious but appeared to be evaluating the experience with the critical eye of a connoisseur. "You know," he said conversationally, his vitals showing elevated but stable readings, "this reminds me of kidney stones. Had those twice. This is maybe a 7 out of 10 compared to that." Vexathala's tail lashed in agitation. "That's impossible. Level 10 generates pain equivalent to having your nervous system set on fire while being crushed by a gravitational field." Marcus shrugged, his restraints creaking with the casual movement. "I mean, it's not pleasant, but I've had worse. That time I stepped on a Lego barefoot in the dark. Now that was pain." The research team exchanged bewildered looks. Piptel's wings had stopped buzzing entirely, a sign of deep shock in his species. "Perhaps," suggested Dr. Corthane, the facility's chief neurologist, "the human nervous system is simply too primitive to register advanced pain stimuli." "Actually," Marcus interjected, "I'm curious about something. Is this really the highest setting? Because I'm getting some serious endorphin action going here, and honestly, it's starting to feel kind of good." The silence that followed was broken only by the quiet hum of medical equipment and Piptel's involuntary whimper. Vexathala found her voice first. "Feel good? Yeah, you know how when you exercise really hard, there's that burning sensation that hurts but also feels amazing? Like your body's rewarding you for pushing through? This is triggering something similar." Marcus paused, considering. "Do you have a Level 11? Dr. Corthane's 6 appendages began trembling, his species equivalent of a panic response. "There is no Level 11. Level 10 is theoretically lethal to most carbon-based life forms." "Huh." Marcus looked genuinely disappointed. "Well, could you maybe modify the settings, add some variety? This is pretty intense, but it's also kind of monotonous. Back home, we have this thing called a pain cave. That's where athletes go to train their pain tolerance. The best ones have multiple stimuli working in complex patterns." The research team stared at him in horrified fascination. "You train for pain?" Vexithala asked weakly. Oh, absolutely. Pain is just information, right? It tells your body something's happening. The trick is learning to interpret that information without letting it control you. Marcus shifted slightly, testing his bonds. Some of my buddies back in Special Forces, they actually enjoy challenging pain. Makes them feel alive. Piptel finally found his voice. Your species deliberately seeks out pain? Well, not everyone, but yeah, a lot of us do. We've got extreme sports, contact sports, endurance challenges, body modification, spicy food competitions. Marcus grinned. Wait until you learn about habanero peppers. We literally evolved to avoid them, but we eat them anyway because they hurt so good. Dr. Corthane was frantically taking notes. This explains so much about human military tactics. Your soldiers don't retreat when injured because they don't interpret pain as a stop signal. Pretty much. Pain just means you're still in the fight. Marcus tested the restraints again. So about that level 11? Or maybe you could add some heat. Cold. Mix it up a little. Vexithala made a decision that would change Galactic Medical Council policy forever. She reached for the emergency shutdown switch. We're ending this test, she announced. Aw, come on, Marcus protested. I was just getting into it. This is better than the time Jenkins and I had a contest to see who could hold their hand on a hot engine block longer. As the pain stimuli powered down, Marcus looked genuinely deflated. You know, if you ever want to study real human pain tolerance, you should probably capture someone who's given birth. My sister says that makes everything else feel like a gentle massage. The research team gathered in the corridor outside the containment room, their various forms of stress responses on full display. We need to reclassify humans immediately, Vexithala declared. They're not just pain-resistant, they're pain-seeking. This changes everything about our understanding of their psychology. Should we inform the military command? Asked Piptel. Dr. Corthane was still reviewing his notes. Definitely, and recommend that future human prisoners be contained using methods other than pain-based deterrence. Apparently, we've been accidentally providing them with entertainment. From inside the containment room, they could hear Marcus calling out, Hey, before you go, do you guys have any really spicy food? I haven't eaten anything with a decent kick since you captured me. Vexithala updated her report with a shaking appendage. Species designation, human. Pain tolerance, unmeasurable. Recommendation, do not attempt pain-based compliance. Subject, may request increased intensity. In the margin, she added a personal note. How did this species survive evolution? Marcus, meanwhile, was already planning to tell his squad about the alien's massage machine if he ever made it home. They'd never believe him, but it would make for a great story over beers. The Galactic Council would spend the next decade trying to understand how a species that actively sought out pain had become one of the most successful civilizations in the galaxy. The answer, had they asked Marcus, was simple. If you're not afraid of getting hurt, you're not afraid of anything.